Hey everybody, it's Doug Green and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and it's my great pleasure to have with me Helmut Minor of Envenance. Helmut, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Doug. Thank you very much.
So this is a special podcast for the ASCDI and Technology Reseller News. We are actually doing, I think, our very first podcast for a new member of the ASCDI. So Helmut, I really want to thank you for joining and to welcome you also to ASCDI.
Thank you.
And we're going to discuss what is Envenance.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Doug. Once again, I'm really excited to join the ASCDI network because I think Envenance is a very good fit to the members, because we extend the capacities and capabilities of the current organizations by providing a digital platform for the order management. My idea when I created Envenance was to create a digital company that would help professionalizing and digitalizing the ITAD process and thus enabling ITAD 3.0, as we call it, to be a digital professional process and move out from the pure logistical aspect. Someone's coming in, taking equipment from somebody else, throwing it into a scrapyard, paying for it or not, and making a little living from this. But by providing a service that really starts from field inventory management, from field inventory counting over a compliant and secure transport into a compliant and documented recycling, and by, in the end, providing not only a refund based on real values, but also a compliance documentation that would help the original owner to perform his ESG reporting accordingly. And doing that by respecting the international waste legislations, meaning taking the assets out in one country and recycling it in the same country and not throwing it across the border into some place where it's, cheaper or nobody cares or something.
Now, I'm fascinated by the idea that we have moved, and in your career, as you were telling me, and the development of your new company represents the movement from basically a very asset-centered type of activity to what I see behind you, which is a sort of office, and you're doing software, and it's digital. It's less physical than it was.
Yeah, it is actually. We are an asset-free company, as the investors call this. So we have only data, and the software. And we use partners who do transportation and who do recycling. And we use, for sure, other partners who have the data wiping software or the carbon footprint software, as we have also in the ASCDI network. But ourselves, we only manage. And that is indeed a different thing because the companies that we deal with, they do not have only one location in one country and then need an occasional cleanup of the space. Our clients normally operate multinationally and have the same pattern of requirement in several countries. By, for instance, leasing companies who lease out the equipment and they want to to take them off the books at the end of lease, or want to take them back, or want to take them out of the market. They do not want to invent the wheel anew in England and in Germany and in Spain and Italy and think of how do we do this. So we provide them with one pattern of process, with one access to one portal, and do for them, in their perception, the same process everywhere. And the complexity actually starts, in this office, and behind our software. And that makes it also quite fascinating.
So what's happening with that? In other words, the client needs to have a single place to watch all this happen? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, actually, the client wants to have a single place to watch where all this is happening. He wants to make sure that the same standards are applied. And then last but not least, he wants to deal with one account payable, right? For many companies, setting up a supplier is a headache. Yeah? So one account payable, there's one company where the contract is checked. Yeah, then there is one currency. We always invoice in euro. There's one payment term. Yeah, and there's one space where you can see all the orders. And where you have at the same time the visibility of what is really going on in the country. Yeah? So we are not a company who deals with someone, as I said on one of my videos. I'm not someone who knows someone who has heard of someone. Yeah, we are dealing with the companies who are on the ground and who do the job. Yeah, behind us comes the logistics service provider. So our client has one space, digital space, where he sees this is the country, this is the order, this is the logistics company, this is the recycling company, and these are their documents that I can provide. Yeah, for sure, we give ourselves a little bit of vulnerability, if you want, because the customer could say, well, thank you, I use Envenance once, yeah, and then I collect all the data and I do it myself. But as you know, and I know, it is easier said than done. Yeah? I mean, setting up the network is one thing, collecting addresses is a thing, but managing a network is a people's business. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, and when you apply certain standards like ASCDI does, yeah, and you want to really that things happen also in case of emergency or unexpected situations, you need to know these people. Yeah, so we know our logistics companies, yeah, and the people in there. We know our recycling companies. We know the people in there. Yeah, when I reach out to my Czech Republic partner, he knows my name. He knows who I am. Yeah? I can call him, tonight, and ask him for a pickup on Monday morning. Yeah, and if he can make it, he does it. Yeah, and if there's some specifics, he does it because I ask for it. Yeah, and you can't just copy that by copying addresses.
Let's stay with that, because I think this is the heart of the matter. So
yes.
You're saying the nature of the ITAD industry is it must be a little bit fragmented. In other words, in different places, you have different people doing different things.
Yes.
You drain the complexity out of that.
I dream the complexity out of that, Doug. It's very nicely put, what you just said, yeah, because I dream it and I do it, yeah, and I like dreaming and doing it, yeah, because I'm a strong believer that we are all different, yeah, but we can, as in Europe we do, yeah, we go all in the same direction by still remaining different, yeah, and that is the beauty of this, yeah, and you cannot apply the same process when you do an ITAD process or an ITAD project in France. You cannot apply the same principle in Sweden. Yeah, because the geography is different, the people are different, yeah, the infrastructure is different, the language is different, the mentality is different, yeah.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have a task, and that means capture the assets, do some documentation with it, do some added value, yeah, and bring it compliant to a site, and generate a document. Yeah, the pattern is the same. Yeah, and you can do it when you define the pattern, when you digitalize it, and then when you run this people by people. Yeah, that's very, very important, and this cannot be done by AI, and this cannot be done by a program. Yeah, it needs the people. Yeah.
So I'm fascinated that the complexity doesn't face the customer, Helmut. It's facing you. You're facing the complexity.
Yes, that's
so
true.
With the complexity, I think ITAD means end-to-end compliance.
Yes.
You're always in compliance, right?
Yes, that's
How
true.
do you retain that compliance with all these moving parts?
Well, you need to know what to look at. Yeah, and there are some, as I say, there are some in this pattern. There are some fixed elements per country that you need to apply everywhere. Yeah, you need to know certain details about the waste generator. Yeah, what does he have? What does he need? Yeah, when is it determined, or how is it determined that he has waste or equipment? Yeah, in Europe we have the waste regulation framework above this. Yeah, so we can determine this. You need to check on the transportation permits, licenses, capabilities. You need to know which recycling documents you can expect that exist. Yeah, so there is some knowledge, yeah, some data knowledge, some format knowledge needed, and you need to check this. Yeah, and we do this in our software also. Yeah, so we check Do these companies have what they are required to have? Do the documents look as they are supposed to look? Is the content the right one? Do they deliver the right data? And our knowledge is to know what's the difference between an Italian Fiuti di Rifiuti, Formulario di Rifiuti, and a French Bordereau de Suivi des Déchets and a German Wiegeschein. And we know that this is required.
So you're able to retain for the customer across borders, across different places, this continuity of compliance.
Yes, that's right.
And at the same time, the customer is able to track what's going on.
Exactly. You can look into the portal and he sees nearly live. Nearly I say, because it depends on the input, the entry time. But nearly live. What is happening? Did he place the order? Is it allocated to a recycling company, and to which one? Or logistics company, and to which one? Has it been picked up? Is it on the road? Does the driver do an overnight stay somewhere? Or not? And then coming in, is he allowed to do this? Until where did it end, and what is the final administration status of this order? So yes, he knows what's going on, and he sees this. And for him, if you would do it from the US. You would see the difference only by the country names and the different partners involved.
Now, are there the things on the portal such as analytical tools? They can look at pricing. They can compare different things.
Well, they can today do analysis of how much has been taken back, what recycling rates have there been, and so on. This is in a development stage that we develop according to the legislation on one side and on the customer demands on the other side. And there are certain elements such as particularly the recycling rate reports that are required during the annual sales, the annual reports for the EPR portals in Europe, where customers need to know how much has been material recycled, how much has been incinerated, how much has been disposed of their volumes. And we provide them with these documents. And then you can do all kinds of data questions, and that we develop this continuously based on, as I say, what the legislation is requiring, and what the customers really need.
Now, do you deal directly with enterprises or
Yes. Our customers are really B2B. I'd say they are B2B equipment manufacturers, from the IT and the medical industries.
Also, do the channel partners or MSPs and so on, are they involved at all?
Not yet. There are first inquiries. They're funny enough. I'm working with recycling companies also. Who deal with their facility for companies in their countries, and who are asked, don't you provide a service European wide, or even worldwide? And we deal with these partners then in terms of customers.
I guess I should ask that. What's the scope of the services? Is it across the European Union?
Honestly speaking, we are focusing on Europe. So most of what is going on is European Union, UK, Norway, Switzerland. That's really the heart of it. But we have done also more adventurous spaces like Moldova or Georgia, together with ASCDI partners in the last 2 years. But we have also done operations in the US, where and I must say quite significant operations in the US. And the trigger was, again, not the recycling necessary. The company didn't want to have something recycled. They had an inventory issue, right? So they wanted to make sure that the inventory was captured, documented, and was taken off the market, and was not appearing, behind the corner on the gray market. So they wanted the proof of recycling at the end, and then for sure also the compliant recycling, because they used this, the trigger of all this project for their own ESG report. But the elementary intention was the inventory capture of all.
And they wanted to prove that they had actually removed this from the market They knew how many units they made.
Yes,
Right,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. That was a major operation on the East Coast of the US, where we used a local partner, brilliant US company who did a very, very clean job, from the beginning, appearance at the customer, because you can't send some scrappies into office spaces, for instance. You need to appear nearly in an office suit, for doing this. You need to know how to behave. The trucks need to be clean, etc. So they did all that and took it back. Perfect documentation, so it was really, really very nice. The only downside of all these projects, Doug, is that once they are done, then the equipment is off the market, it is destroyed, and that's it. So you always need to go for the next project. That's
right. You're always moving forward. Let's talk about that as well. So you have a lot of one-off business. You have a lot of one-off business from the enterprises, but it occurs to me you have a lot of ongoing relationships with the people you use.
Yes.
And does it work the other way? In other words, in as much as the enterprise wants a simple place, one portal, etc., you guys handle it all. Is it also true the other way, that the partners that you engage, they don't have to worry too much about the customer? You just bring them the business and they just go and do it.
Yes, for sure. I mean, we have where we fill, business, or we bring business to our recycling companies, particularly also the logistics companies. They like that because they know that we come always with interesting projects, always new business. So it saves them the acquisition, and they can do their, driving and recycling and so on. And honestly speaking, now with entering ITAD 3.0, the discussion that you have with the customer is not about, well, there's aluminium, I throw this in there and this is refined and something. You need to understand how a profit and loss statement looks like, what depreciation means,
right.
What is involved when you take an asset off the book, and so actually you speak with the finance and administration manager, and not even the quality guy anymore, And here I really have to say the recycling guys may reach their limit of their expertise, because the real expertise of them is not even required, or is not even demanded. So that makes it interesting. That gives us an added value also to these recycling companies.
Well, Helmut, I really want to thank you for joining me today. Again, welcome to the ASCDI. I'm very glad your company's part of this, and I think you also represent a new generation of companies that are bringing new ideas to ASCDI and to ITAD.
Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure, and honestly, I could go on forever with this. And I'm really looking forward to doing the business and to be part of the ASCDI voyage.
So, Helmut, where can we learn more about Envenance?
Where can you learn? Well, actually, location-wide, we are in Nice in France. So the best to learn about Envenance is in Nice in France. And besides, if you want to save the travel, just go to ITAD-envenance.com, which is our website, where we explain our services, and also where we display regularly our own blogs, our own videos, and our own information channel about the news that we have.
We mentioned this briefly at the beginning. That is actually a brand new website.
Yes.
Part of that was inspired by becoming part of ASCDI too. So
it is true. It is definitely true. Yes.
All right. Well, I look forward to learning much more in the future, but for now, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.